Hello, hello, hello. My name is Nicholas Rivas, and I do videos on politics and stuff. And today we're gonna be talking about, just kind of the like weird funk I think everyone is in, and how we're kind of getting out of that. But more so like the capitalistic mindset. Like I just started thinking about like I saw a funny video where people were talking about like, oh, it's crazy how all this stuff is going on through our everyday lives, and then you just got um, to go back to work. There's this funny video where this guy's saying like, oh, you just have to go back to work after reading that Trump is gonna kill Mike Pence, stuff like that, and it's crazy to me how like that's just kind of just been the norm of society in the world. But like I read a thing that was like, oh, your city is gonna lose water soon because of the drought we're in, and yada yada. And I'm like, I didn't choose to live here. I was just born. I don't know what the fuck to do. And I know that's just kind of life. Like, what do you're gonna blame the kids in Africa for the shit that they've been given? I know that's kind of like a stereotypical thing to mention, but it's usually like, like what we tell ourselves of like, we were just kind of born into this shit, and there's like nothing we can really do other than just live and just, say la vie, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it's like a little bit disheartening, but it's just a little bit crazy and kooky bananas, and just how we're just surviving and shit in this motherfucker. I don't know. It's weird. I think like a big proponent of all this, I feel like, is just capitalistic mindsets. Like I just have to continue to go back to work even though like there's this pending doom of living in a town with no water, and no one's talking about it. And it's definitely my anxiety and my like crazy being in the know of it all. But I think there's also an ignorance to it. Like it's not like the facts are going away. Like there's a climate change, there's a climate crisis, there's a this, and we just gotta go back into work. Like it's just weird that I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, and I think that's what happens when you're terminally online. You're just kind of making yourself fearful and afraid, but it's also just part of the facts in real life of everyday life. So I don't really know how to approach it, and how to ignore these pending dooms, but also just keep living life, and then also just the expectation to go back into work. I remember when I lost my grandmother, someone who was very close to, someone who raised me and who I saw every day. um she passed away, and I felt like I had to go back to work. I remember I got COVID, and I felt like I had to go back to work just because the silver spoon of bills don't go away, right? Like, bills don't got a silver spoon, right? Like I had to go back into work, and so it was just weird. It was a weird world to be in, and I guess for the first time in my life, feel like I just can't give up. Like I have to go back to work and feed my family, and their backs are on me. And this is some shit I was talking about in therapy, is that I feel like I have this dependency on me, and fuck, I can't. I can't. Excuses ain't gonna pay the bills, right? So I always walk with this mindset of like, I'm not gonna disappoint my family. I'm gonna push through, and yada yada yada. So I don't know. It's definitely disheartening. It's definitely crazy, and I partially blame the capitalistic mindset. I truly believe that this idea that we have to go to work is ridiculous. I know there needs to be work done in our world, and the world doesn't stop spinning. But as a society, we need to recognize that sometimes these like little things at work don't matter, and our society needs to first focus on humans and our society itself rather than the profits. And and I know I sound like a hippy dippy, but ain't that just the truth? Is like, I want to go home to my family and enjoy my time with them, not my time at work. I want to grieve, and I'm thankful that I have a place that let me. But I think also too, that stigma that was around our head was, I have to go back to work. Even if my work let me, I felt like it was like, well, they're gonna get mad, if I don't come in. Like I felt that pressure, and I don't know where that societal pressure came from, other than just society, right? Or sorry, yeah, I don't know where that pressure came from, other than just the societal norms of what you're taught. I mean, I never used to take like sickness serious when it came to like working. Like when I would get sick from a flu, I would just go to work. Like that's just what you did. So now with COVID, I feel like the stigma has changed a little, but it's just reverted back to our old American ways, where I have people in my circle at work and school and friends and family who say like, you're still wearing a mask even though we're not gone from the pandemic. But moving forward, we should wear masks if we ever get sick, right? So we don't get each other sick. And that stigma has still been placed. Like people are like, you're gonna still wear the mask. Like, Well, you should if you get sick, right? If you have like an airborne sickness, right? Right. But it's that mindset, and I think same with this capitalistic mindset is you definitely um you definitely don't mean to, say I believe we should go into work if we're sick, but you've been trained and kind of taught to do that, and so again, I'm trying to give people like the benefit of doubt and really like work with them and say like, hey, it's okay to take those days off. It's okay to feel like you can't go into work, but I feel like we've kind of planted in our mind that we should go into work and we should work while grieving. We should work while we're sick. Um, our stigmas and norms never really disappear. That's just part of being an American, unfortunately. And I don't want to just place it on just Americans. I think it's more first world capitalistic mindsets. And I know I sound like a hippie where I just keep blaming capitalism, right? Yeah. But I think it's more and deeper than that. And I think at the end of the day, there's no clear cut answer. And I think that this anxiety we have with work and the impending dooms of life have been always there and present. And we just have to kind of say la vie, right? But I think it's also healthy to recognize that it is a problem. It is a disease of sorts where we definitely put profits over people, and that's destructive. It's definitely has its moments. Like if we all sat there and ignored all the problems, we'd be monsters. We'd have a world of monochrome pieces of shits. Is that, I don't know if that's like, it's like a gray scale of empathy where there's like none. And I don't want to live in that world. I want to live in a world of sympathetic people and soft souls. Like maybe, hard times do make a harder person, but I definitely think we should embrace our softer, more caring side for our humans, because that's what's propelled us to where we are. We didn't become these top humans because we just didn't give a shit all the time. I think we became the apex predators of our world because we cared about our fellow human. And I hate that soft caring side of ourselves has been diminished because we think it's the right way. You know what I mean? Like there's no right or wrong in this. It's a mix of both sympathy, empathy, and love. And I think people are ridiculous if they don't believe in that. But I'm just a hippy dippy kid who doesn't understand what it means to be a hard worker, I guess. Because in my mind, I'm always at work thinking like, this is so stupid. We shouldn't be doing this. When I was grieving, of course. I was like, why am I here? We should be going home and spending time with our family. And I think everyone thinks that, but I think there's a healthy mix. There's a healthy mix of work that we just have to do. It's part of life. We're hunter-gatherers for a reason. But I also think that there's a healthy amount of seeing your family and being at home with the people you love that we need to balance. And currently our capitalistic mindset of the 5 days a week, 2 days off is... It's not meant for humans, and the grieving process we go through, or the pending doom of life and just everything, takes over. And I don't see a world where we have a fit society if we don't cater to our needs and their societal woes and stuff. But again, I'm the hippy dippy dude who believes that we should have like the European style of, let's all just work for an hour and then go get brunch and have the largest orgy. That's my dream. But again, I know I'm hippie. I know it's not the norm. And I know this, like, what is it, entropy that we think about, this unpredictability is what makes life so crazy and fun. There's really no way to predict or fix this. This is just kind of the life we live. You go to work, you maybe have some unexpected craziness. I mean, the stuff that happened in Flint sounded predictable, but I think as a society we had no way to handle it, just like COVID. But we learned from it though, and we learned that, like, I think with COVID, a big fault to why we had 1 million deaths is because what I kept hearing is people saying, well, we have to go back to work. The profit over people won. The profit won. It destroyed our society, and we catered to the virus in a sense where we didn't look out for our own people. And places that did, I think, succeeded in taking care of the virus because they took care of people first. again, this isn't like a clear-cut answer. This isn't like, I'm not saying we should shut down every business ever, because there was nuances to it. But the idea that we just let profits win because we oh god, I'm about to die. The idea that we just let the virus kill as many people because we were scared about losing some moolah, it's weird. I just don't, my brain doesn't function like that. To me, I think of it like we failed our people. But to some people, I think like legitimately, like I'm probably recalling this wrong, but I remember Trump saying that he was happy that we came back to work faster than any other country, and we have the highest deaths. So it proved that the deaths of people were less accepted and needed than the woes of our the woes that came with the virus. Like the virus won, and we won as well. Like, yay, good. Like, it feels weird. It feels like obvious at this point too. I don't know how anybody doesn't see that we've catered to profits over people, especially in the last millennia, especially what's going on with the news of the Jon Stewart fighting for the people who were dying of cancer, or the veterans who were dying of cancer because of the toxic fumes we were burning in Afghanistan. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about how, we're supposed to be patriotic. We're supposed to be yada yada, this like, hoorah Americans. And meanwhile, we're allowing our veterans to die and have to pay for these cancer treatments because of the idiotic procedures of the U.S. government. Like, come on. But I think I've ranted enough. I think my crazy circle of entropy and chaos and love is fun. But just a thought to think about. Thank you so much. New videos every other day. Pop your pussy and yabba 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 dabba doo.